nice to have everybody here. Everybody looks warm, yes? I hope so. I'm cold myself. My name is Dr. Roland. I run the conflict program here at George Mason Korea at our campus here in South Korea. I try to come out to these events as often as possible because I think it's important for me to see you young scholars even before you come to George Mason. The reason is because each time I see you, it makes me more motivated, makes me feel younger. Sometimes I feel older too. But it makes me happy to be able to come out and see you and interact with you. And also the great parents we have here today in the audience. So thank you parents for coming out here as well. I appreciate it. So I was asked to give you a presentation about conflict, something about conflict. So a little bit I'll talk about identity today because we all have our identities. Whether I'm a white guy and you're an Asian lady or man, or whether it be a different identity. So we're going to talk about identity a little bit. We're going to talk about what conflicts are, why conflict nouns and resolution is so important to everyone in this room. Whether you have the degree or not, whether you want the degree or not, it's something that everyone can use regardless of the job they do or the life they're going to live. I promise you that for sure. So let's go on. Maybe.
That's why I use the keyboard, Dr.
Okay. So, sorry. Technical difficulty in the morning. So, here's what we're going to talk about today. It's very easy, okay? I'm going to walk around. I like to talk. I like to see people, so we'll have a good time, hopefully. Only a little bit about me because I'm boring. Today is about you, not me. I've been working on conflicts through the U.S. government, before that as a Marine, and now as an academic for over 30 years. I came to South Korea since 1984. So, yes, I am a little bit older, okay? I also travel to conflict zones around the world, whether it be North Korea. I enjoy going to North Korea, whether I go to Israel, Palestine, or other places. Why? Because I like danger? No. If we're going to understand conflicts and issues of the world, we have to go there. We have to understand them. If we listen to the news, whether it be real news or fake news, we really don't understand what's going on. We're hearing somebody else talk. We need to see, we need to feel. So that's the reason why I go to these places. And hopefully in the future, when you become George Mason students, and if you become a conflict scholar, I can take you to some of these. Last year we took students to Thailand for a mediation conference. So I had 5 great young scholars come with me. 2 of them gave a presentation to a bunch of professionals. Undergraduate students going to Thailand giving a professional presentation. They had a great time. It was nice to see their scholarly work out there. And that's the kind of things you can do around the world for us as well. So, what is conflict nouns resolution? Let me get this out right away. A lot of people say, well, you know, I don't really care about conflicts. I want to avoid conflicts. Why do I want to take a degree in conflict nouns resolution? Conflict is a very big word, yes? You know, sometimes it sounds very dangerous. But it's not about fighting necessarily. It's not about war necessarily. It's about how we live in this world, how we live in our families, society. Because ever since, whether you're religious and think of Adam and Eve, or whether you think of some other background, ever since we were alive in this world, we had conflicts. Yes? Because we interact with one another. So a degree in conflict nouns and resolution allows you, whether you're going to be the next president of South Korea, the next foreign diplomat of South Korea, the next government worker or social worker, or the next lead of a company. It gives you the skills you need in order to lead and teach and to create an atmosphere in the world that's important to all of us. Yes? So that's what it's all about. So, you had a piece of paper. I know you didn't read it probably. But I had a couple of questions for you. But I'll get down to the basics of it, okay? If I ask you young scholars and your parents in the room, what is a conflict? What would you say it is? Describe a type of conflict to me, if you would, please. Not everybody at one time. Take your time. Take your time. What do you think a conflict is? Ladies, would you like to ask? Give me a type of conflict. Any kind. Except ice cream. Territorial conflicts like Dokdo, right? Dokdo Munjin. Or what else? Personal conflicts, that's right. Whether it be with your mom and dad, your brother or sister, or your best friend. We have personal conflict, absolutely. What else? You was going to raise your hand? One-sided conflicts, for example. Let's go to interpersonal. What he's talking about is, I have to go up these stairs and my leg is broke. And you're like, what do I do? So the conflict is, do you try to go through the struggle and go up the stairs? Or do you say, not today, I'm going home. Sometimes it's about when you study too. Should I study or should I play? Right? What else? Any other kinds of conflicts? You had your hand up.
Internal, so like within the walls or online.
Interpersonal, so inside your mind, absolutely. For example, do you have a prime example?
Finding out who you are, identity.
Who you are, identity. That's what the class is about today, right? You've been reading my stuff before that? No cheating in my class, all right? Any other types of conflicts? Religious conflicts, you bet. We see that in the Middle East right now, yes? Okay, not just the Middle East, but other places. Religious conflicts. Anything else? Different ethnicity. So if I'm American and I hate South Koreans, which is totally opposite, it's not. We would have a conflict. Also between North and South Korea. You may think you're the same ethnic heritage, but now it's changed very much so, right? So that's what conflict is. And by the way, before I forget, because they were in the room, I have a couple of great young conflict scholars in the back room. Raise your hand, ladies. That after this is over with and during lunchtime, if you have any questions and you're too shy to ask me, you can certainly ask these young scholars and they'll help answer those questions for you. All right? So let's go on. Every conflict you talked about was a negative conflict, a bad conflict. But there's good conflicts in the world too. You see it every day. When you're frustrated and you want to think of something new, that's a conflict. But when you overcome that, it becomes something very good, original to you. Sports. Sports is a conflict. You have a winner and loser in sports. But each side learned. They become stronger, better. And they also become better friends, by the way. So that's another type. How about when you go out and you have a demonstration in Seoul about the former government, the candlelights? That's a conflict. But it's a good conflict because you're doing it peacefully. You want to learn change and make changes in the world. So that's very good. What do you think the first conflict, the first good conflict ever in the world was? Where was it that we know of in history? Where do you think it might have been? Anybody guess? Somebody guessed it last weekend. I know they're not smarter than you last weekend, all right? So we had this last weekend too, and we had a couple of young scholars guess. So what do you think was the first in history, we know history, was the first positive conflict in the world? Anyone want to try? You get a bonus you get a free lunch for trying. You get a free lunch anyway, but I'll give you my sandwich too. How's that? How about the Olympics? Greece. Greece. Long time ago, Greece was warring states, yes? They were fighting one another all the time. They were fighting the Persians and everybody else in the world. But they would stop to have Olympics in Athens, to get to know one another better, to resolve fights they may have had, issues they had. So that was the first known positive conflict. I'm sure there was ever before that, but that's the first one in recorded history that we have. Okay. So, get a video, okay? Pay attention, you're going to have a test on this afterwards, right? So, this is a fun video, and I'm going to stop it in the middle. I want you to take a good look at it, if you may. So what's the conflict about? Trying to cross a bridge. They're trying to go separate, different ways, right? So that's a conflict, absolutely. Is it a tough conflict? Is it a very difficult conflict? Maybe a little bit fat, so it's a little bit of a conflict. But it's not really a difficult conflict, yes? Okay, let's continue. How do you think they're going to resolve it? How do you think they're going to change this conflict? For good or bad? They have to go back? Well, we shall see then, if they go back. That's about using power, threatening people, yes? Bullying. Not very nice. Bugs Bunny. Uh-oh. Same problem. Which one's stronger? So that is the way to resolve conflicts, right? The problem is many do not want to do that. We're selfish. Us humans sometimes have a bad habit. I'm right and you're wrong. But that's not the case. Everybody's right and everybody's wrong. In today's politics, we know that whether it's South Korea or the United States, there's the left side and there's the right side. But what about everybody in the middle? You get the whole middle of people that their voices are not heard. This is a conflict between left and right. But what happens, to be honest, if you have the left and the right do this? Everybody on the left sometimes have good ideas, on the right have good ideas. You have to come together, regardless of what you do. When you do that, you resolve these conflicts, become better as people. That's what it's all about. Let's continue. Okay. So, your identity. Why is identity important? One of the things we study many things in conflict resolution, is about identity. Because there are many conflicts over identity. I think you mentioned it earlier, right? Whether you identify yourself as a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist, whether you identify yourself as an American or as somebody from Germany, whatever the case may be. There's all kinds of identities. Having an identity is great. Sometimes, though, when it comes to identities, we want to have just our identity, and I don't care about yours. Because identity wants to come together with other identities. So we have group problems, whether it be a country or a group of people. College students are the same thing. You're young scholars. You're just finishing up high school. You're young scholars. You studied so hard to get here. So now you're ready for college. You take exams. You're ready to go. You come to George Mason, for example. It's in South Korea, which is good. You can go home on weekend. to have kimchi, as Dr. Morris was saying earlier. By the way, you made me hungry. Or you can hang out with friends, whether they be from the United States, other areas around the world. So you have an identity now, a different identity. You're a college student. You're an adult. At least you think so. Maybe mom and dad says, not yet. You're still our daughter or son. Okay? But you have an identity. But what is that identity? You're going to a U.S. university, male or female. Maybe you studied a long time overseas, or maybe you're just studying in South Korea. Your identity you have is very important, but it's also not fixed. It changes. It changes every day of your lives, and it should. Nobody should tell you that your identity, you're a Korean and don't think anything else. That's wrong. You're much more than that. You're a combination of identities. You're a combination of cultures. Korean culture is very unique, right? Very unique. Korean culture today is not the culture of yesterday. You ask your parents, what we consider standard in South Korea today, culture-wise, is not the same. Back 20 years ago in South Korea, 30 years ago, Koreans used to say a lot of words like 죽겠다. Right? 배고파 죽겠다고. Sorry, we'll let it sit. Why did they say that? Why did they say that? Parents, why did they say that? Why would they say, I'm so hungry I could die? Why? Do you know? How about you, some of you young scholars, do you know why?
Korea was not doing well economically.
Bingo. That's right. Because your parents or your grandparents had to work so hard to overcome war, Japanese occupation, and many other problems in this world. So normally, you were hungry, you're going to die. Same thing in North Korea today, by the way. Okay? So there was a reason why that cultural language was used. Do we say that now? No. What am I going to eat today? So you get your choices of food. Sometimes you get too much food. So it's changed. Culture's changed. So just like identity, culture is very connected to it. But I would submit to you, I would say to you, scholars here, that your culture is not going to be the same tomorrow. Your language is not going to be the same tomorrow. Your lives are going to be much different, much better. When you go up the mountain of life, at the end of that mountain, at the top, you see everything. So you have a really large look in life, and that's what we want to do. Now, will this work for me? This is a conflict. It does not. So let me do it the hard way. Okay, so we already talked about this. You're a graduate. You're coming to school. Who am I? What am I? What am I going to do? Who am I going to hang out with? Who's my first boyfriend or girlfriend? Parents, it is painful. You have all of these questions and you want to hurry up and do it. Don't worry. Your identity is okay. Whatever identity you have is great. So, it's always about myself. But make it more than about yourself. It's not just about you. It's about your family, your friends, and the new colleagues you have in school. It's very important. I'm going to exercise today, going back and forth. So, here's the definition of identity. The most important part of this definition, and we studied many theories in conflict, many, because it's theories which give us creativity. If we don't understand theories, whether it be psychological theories, social theories, historical theories, anthropological theories, if we don't know ourselves and our theories, we cannot understand the world. So it's very important to us. So, most important part of this is right here on the bottom. Social identity. Every identity you have is because of social interaction. Just like conflicts and issues. They're all socially constructed. So as long as you know that, and we start to learn more about that, we can understand why the world does this a certain way. Why are there conflicts between family members? Why are there social issues in society? Why are businesses having problems with other businesses, international businesses? Is it a culture thing? Is it a historical thing? Why are businesses having problems with their employees? Employee issues. If you understand these kind of things, you can learn to be a better employee, a better leader, and a better change maker in this world. What do you see here? I'm sorry? A person doing a squat. Okay, that's one. What if anybody see something different? What do you see here? What do you see here? Okay. Okay. Anybody have a different answer?
I guess I could call it dancing.
Dancing what? Dancing? Okay, so dancing technically. Anybody have a different? I'm sorry? Just a stick figure. Very generic there. Anybody have a different answer? Happy, sad? Happy person, sad person? Would you say happy or sad? Probably happy, right? Okay, so that's a couple of different identities. Male or female? You don't know? I'm sorry? You can't tell. You guys have been studying. But many people would say, based on their identity, well, I see a guy up there jumping, a girl up there jumping, a bald guy up there jumping. Like me. For example. Everybody has different ways to look at it because it's through your eyes that you see things differently. Now, what do you see? I'm sorry? A woman. Absolutely. What else? I'm sorry? Cross. So maybe somebody with an attitude. Is that an attitude? Okay. So good attitude or bad? What else? Professional. A professional. Okay. What else? Confident. So a confident person. Okay. What else? Asian. What else? You're in Korea. What do you think your identity is? Maybe. Korean American, okay, because it's more of a Western look, Korean but with a Western look. The baby. So there's the Korean American. The bottom line is what she wants to be. She could be a professional. She could be a lady. She could be a professor. She has glasses. She doesn't have glasses on this time, but if she had glasses on, you would think maybe she's maybe a teacher or something. An office worker, maybe. Japanese would probably say an office worker, because Japanese have that similar look when they go to the office. Okay, everybody wears the same kind of clothes, but how you view it is differently as well. What do you see here? That is us, by the way. That is us and what we do. When we look in the mirror, when we see ourselves, what we see in ourselves is how we think we are. But what other people see when they look at us is very different. That's an important part of us building our resume, our knowledge in order to be a better person, which is a key part of conflict. So you had, let me, one experiment, and we'll kind of wrap it up. We'll try it too quickly so we can enjoy lunch. We're getting hungry. You had 10 people, 10 girls and 10 guys. Similar age, not too young, not too old. Nobody knows one another. It's just 10 females and 10 males. We put them inside a room like this together. They all come inside here. Nobody knows one another. They're all strangers. What do you think normally happens? What would happen to them? Okay, reactive according to personality. How do you think they would divide up? Do you think they would divide or just all hang out together and, in a big group? What do you think would happen? Divide, right? How would they divide? By gender. Male and females. Absolutely they would. Every single experiment like this, they do the same. If you took the same group though, and you had 5 women wear yellow shirts, 5 women wear blue shirts, 5 men wear blue shirts, 5 men wear yellow shirts, they divide up according to the group, the color, the same way. Why do we do that? Why is our brain fixed to say we have to look at somebody and go a certain way? They feel similarity. That's right. They want to bond. Bonding. We all want to do that as part of groups. That's a big part of positive and sometimes negative conflicts. You bond and it's good. You become great co-workers, great students, great scholars. If you bond and it's bad, you have conflict. If you bond and then you say, wait a minute, us yellow guys, yellow shirts are smarter than you guys. Because we're yellow. Okay? Or maybe blue. I have blue eyes, so it has to be blue. Blue's better than yellow, right? Then you have the same problem. You have conflicts that occur. That's society. That's how we live in this world. These are all different components of identity. Because remember, what I'm talking about identity today is a very small part of a degree in conflict analysis and resolution. It's a very small part. But it's an important part and just a taste for you to have to go on about the rest of your day. So, your career, your political views, religious, relationships, identity. I'm so-and-so's girlfriend or boyfriend. I'm so-and-so's husband or wife. Who's the oldest boy? Who has more than one sibling? Okay? Who's the oldest? Are you the oldest?
No, my sister.
You're the second. Who's the oldest?
My sister.
Your sister, okay? So, when they refer to your mom and dad, when they refer to your sister, how do they call her?
How do they?
How do they call her? Other people, other adults. She loses her name, right? She no longer has identity as an individual. She is the daughter of so-and-so. Why? Why does she have to lose her identity? Why are you have to be second or third?
Because she was born earlier.
She was born earlier than you. So now we're talking about culture and Confucianism and the fidel piety and hierarchy that we have in Asian societies. But to Westerners, that's very foreign, that's very strange. Why did I lose my identity? Wait, I have a name. Use my name, please. So that's another way that we see different issues. Your original identity is always part of your home, where you're brought up, part of your personal beliefs, family beliefs, and also part of your school. That's going to be your first identity probably coming in here. It's all about my worth, my value as a person. And every one of you are worth a lot. You're very valuable. You're very valuable to Korean society. Scholars that decide to major in conflict resolution, you're at the beginning of something great. Because conflict analysis resolution is the first conflict degree program in East Asia. The first one ever. I've been trying to bring this program here for 7 years, 8 years now. Why? Because I saw the importance of having people trained with these skills. What is the difference between, everybody in Korea is very well educated, yes? Everybody's smart, you're all smart in here. Most of you wear glasses, so you're smarter than I am right now. Although I need glasses, I can't see very well. When you go up for your first interview when you get a job, you have two people similar identities, both Korean, both studied hard, both good degrees, okay? Both professional. The problem is it's so equal. There's no differences. It's so competitive. It's hard to get that job, whatever job you may have. Whether it be company job, office job, social work job, diplomacy job, government job. Everybody's equal because everybody studies hard from 2 years old all the way up to they graduate, yeah? But if you have a degree in conflict resolution, you're different. Not only are you equal, but you're better. Because you have a great understanding of the world. You can help resolve issues, and you can help bring positive conflicts to a company or to yourself. So you have something very special to talk about that others cannot talk about right now. You can be a part of a movement in Asia that helps resolve 독도 issues. 위안부 문제, the sex slave issues, okay? Issues between classes, settlement, the North Koreans that come down. You can be the first wave to do that. How about unemployment? How about the older people living on the streets in Seoul, at the Seoul old train station, for example? How about companies no longer competitive in the market because they don't understand the culture of China or the United States, for example? You have the ability inside you, every one of you, and many of your friends, as these two colleagues back here, young colleagues back here do, to change the world in the things you do. And that's what's important about this program here at this time in South Korea. North Korea is not going to go away. They're still there. Kim Jong-un continues to eat a lot of food. So we're going to have that problem. Of course, that's one problem. But that's not the only problem. Other problems too, many of them. And also many good things going on. The Koreans are very innovative. They're very smart. They're good at fusion. Think about, for example, some Korean dishes. Okay, you know, Jason talked about kimchi. Kimchi today is not Korean, per se. You know that, right? Did you have red peppers a couple hundred years ago? Kimchi wasn't made originally with red peppers. It was made without red peppers, without the spice. It was something to get them through the winters, the hard winters. But when they imported red peppers from India here, then it changed, became a fusion food. And now it's very originally Korean. No other country has kimchi. North Korea has kimchi too. Trust me, I've been there. It's not good. It's not good. But now it became Korean. Koreans have a great unique ability to take anything in the world and make it their own. TVs, cell phones. TVs and cell phones were not made in Korea originally, right? Where did TVs come from? Do you know? Came from the United States. Zenith, an old American TV, was imported here, and then they started making TVs here. Cars the same way. Cars wasn't made in Korea originally, right? So, you have that ability in you. And just like this program, you have the ability to take it, learn something new and unique, and do something great in the world and for this country. The reason why George Mason is here is to keep you great scholars from taking all this smartness that you have and running away to another country. Of course, you're going to study abroad, you're going to do great things around the world because the world is our family, as Jason mentioned. Globalization is here. It's not new, it's very old. But we're part of a world family. But we want the family member to come back home, too. And that's a great thing about studying at George Mason and doing something unique like conflict analysis and resolution. Make sense? So, how am I on time? Everybody hungry? I think I'm hungry. So, we'll end that here. You're welcome to use your cell phones to take pictures of this. If you need to send me an email, I get hundreds of emails all the time from people. It's okay. I answer them all, okay? Trust me. So you have that. I also, my young scholars know I'm on Kakao all the time with all my students, which means I don't sleep very much because students send Kakao messages and emails at 1 a.m. When I'm trying to sleep. But I answer because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you to bring out the best in you. I don't want to teach you. I'm not here to teach you. I'm here to help mentor you to be the best scholars and citizens you can be. And I think that we can do that together. So, questions for me or these very smart scholars in the back? Come on up if you want to. Come on, you too.